What's up, YouTube? It's your boy ChikenMaster. I'm back again. I thought about this a little while ago. I wanted to make a kind of a guide or like a basic introduction to the face-off. So I'm thinking about people that are like just started playing and are interested in the position. Hi. Or people that have been playing for a little bit. They've seen they've seen their teammates maybe do it, but they don't understand it. Or the people that want to play it. Right, they've been playing for a little bit. They want to try to switch to face-off. This is going to be very, very basic, very bare bones. We're not really going to go into too much of like details and stuff about how to do the face-off. I'm more just going into like what the face-off is, how it works, and kind of just some of the basics that make it happen. Really, kind of the rules of it, and kind of how, and like we'll go from there. So yeah, let's get started. So the face-off is, we have the face-off at the beginning of every game, at the beginning of each quarter, and after every goal has been scored. The face-off basically starts the play of the next play, essentially. It's pretty straightforward when it happens. It's very much like hockey. If you ever watch, right, they have face-offs in, like at the beginning after a goal. They also have face-offs for like penalties and stuff like that. Stuff, right, and just in different positions. Lacrosse is very straightforward. There's just one face-off area, and that's it. And it's right going to be at the center of the field. So you have your midline. You have two wings on each side, and right at the center is the face-off. So face-offs are very, very simple. Can you move this? Thank you. All that's going to really happen is you're going to go up, and along with the other face-off person. And from there, the ref is going to put the ball down, he's going to say down. And when that happens, both players' heads will go down. He's going to say set, and he's going to make sure that everyone's lined up. They're going to move heads as needed. That's a thing. And then from there, they're going to make, no one's moving, everyone's ready to go. After that, they're going to blow the whistle, and that's when the face-off happens. So I'll kind of show you that here. Let me just change the angle. All right, so the way it works, this is kind of as good as I can get on my carpet floor here. This one keeps leaning over. But anyway, you're going to line up about top to stop, which is the top of this head here. Is kind of lined up as close as they can with the top of the, or the ball stop of the other player and vice versa. They're going to be lined up as close as possible. It's never going to be perfect, right? And that's just how it's going to be. Jeez, sorry. Everything is falling apart on me today. Anyway, so from there, what's going to happen is you're going to have, you're going to be on the outside of the lines, is kind of what it means. From there, the ball is going to be in the middle, and the ball is going to be roughly in the same spot for everybody, where it's kind of right in the middle of both heads. Again, there's going to be room for error, so just understand, right? We're all human. It's going to happen that way. And then from there, they're going to say set. They're going to touch your sticks. They're going to move them, right? Like if you lined up like this, they're going to move you back down, right? They want to make sure that you are straight. And straight includes all the way up and down the line. That means your whole stick in your hands on the stick. And I'll show you that in a little bit. From there, they're going to, once they've done all their adjustments, they're going to back off and blow the whistle. And then that's when both heads will come in and battle out for the face-off. Right, they're going to get, each player's trying to get possession of the ball. How they do it is completely up to them. Right, there's a bunch of different moves, and we'll get into that a little bit, but that's the basic. That's what a face-off is. All right, when we talk about the line, lines could be a little bit thicker than the ball, and we're just going to be bringing this edge, this face of our stick, right up to that line. We're not going to be on the line, because then we'll be one, touching the ball, two, we're on the line, right, just right up to it. From there, that also includes your fingers and the whole shaft, right? All the way down, you can't cross that line. So basically the way it's going to look a little bit is you can't, all right, let me see if I can get a better angle here. You can't, if the line's right in front of me, my hands here can't be up here, right? Yeah, the head's may not be on the line, but my fingers are, and that's still against the rules. You're going to be as straight as you can. That's the goal. So pretty straightforward. But again, sometimes it would help if I had a line. I really wish I had a line. I got nothing, and that's just how it's gonna be. But anyway, right? What that ends up happening is that both players are about the same distance, like I mentioned, from the ball, right? When we're at the same angle too, we're both straight up and down on the ball, which is huge for the game because now it means that let's see, give it a better angle, right? We have an equal opportunity to get the ball. We're both facing the ball in the same way. It's the same distance for everybody then, right? And we try to get as close as we can, right? Again, refs especially, and each individual player, you could be the most honest person out there. There's still room for error. I still mess it up sometimes, right? One of the hardest things is that when I train, sometimes I don't always have a line. And it's hard to train because I don't know if I'm over or if I'm too far back, right? When I'm in my practice stance, my left foot might be a little back, so I move it back. So I'm like, oh man, I'm wrong. Or my foot might be up, and I'm like, well, it's not that close, right? But regardless, right, do what you can. They do say that if you're not cheating, you're not trying. There's a little bit of truth to that. Face-offs do get a little competitive in that sense. But as long as you're being honest about the way you line up, right, it's just part of the game. It's just part of the sport. It's part of your sportsmanship is being fair in that part of the game. So, right, and the reason too, like, there's so many rules on this because so many people have cheated. So many people have been doing things that just kind of disrupt the flow of the game and the flow of the position, that finally bringing down clear rules has been really, really helpful. We've seen it over the last few years, and as they keep changing rules, like in college and high school, some things just don't change, and those are the things that you have to follow, right? Speaking of rule changes, one of the other big changes that has come, I coach high school lacrosse, and a few years ago, if you guys remember, it was kind of right as we were coming back from COVID, college changed their rules on face-offs to be the standing neutral grip only. So what that means, there's two ways to do a face-off. If anyone has watched professional lacrosse, whether PLL, NLL, right, anything like that, you'll notice a lot of guys, and a lot of these guys have been playing the game with both their hands down like this, with both their hands like this on the stick. One knee's on the ground, the other one's usually, right, it's up, gives power and drive, and it goes like this, right? This is your face-off. Over the last few years, we have seen a change. The standing neutral grip is not new. It's not a new way to face off. It has been around for a long time. It is great for countering this style of face off. But because this style is so powerful and can be very, very fast, right, and it's a very strength-based, that this has become the norm. Downside is sometimes it's a little too powerful for its own good, and the game just had changed. One way or another, the game changed. I like this. I still face off like this sometimes, but there are times where being in a standing position actually is more beneficial, and we'll talk a little bit more. That's a little bit more of an advance when you're thinking about it, but there are times when this is helpful, and we've seen this since the 90s and early 2000s. This has been a thing. However, right, knee down was more popular. But college changed that you had to play like this. One of your hands, you're almost gripping the stick as if you were normally gripping. Now it's just like this. So from there, you're in your standing. You can still go down for clamps like this, but it does add new dimensions. One thing that's hard, knee down, is trying to flick it out. It's still doable, but because of the way your wrists are moving, this is an easier motion than trying to accomplish this. This is really not as good. Whereas, standing, your fingers and your wrists are already ready to do this. You're bringing the stick in, motions like your sweeps, rakes, stuff like that. It opens up a lot more opportunities, and it's been huge. Whether you like it or not, it's a part of the game now, and you just have to deal with them. So let's say you're a youth or a high school player, and you're looking to make this switch. You're going to be playing by these rules. College brought them in first. Like a year or two later, they came to high school. And I learned how to face off this way. My original face offs were knee down, but my senior year, when I really kind of went back to face offs, my new face off coach taught two of our guys knee down and taught me standing. I didn't take a lot of face offs that year because of head coaching issues, right? There was some drama going on. But aside from that, I won most of my face offs because I was able to counter a lot of what the norm was. Granted, high school lacrosse. But this is the norm now. This is how we face off now at most levels. Things like the Face Off Academy, which are huge, they are teaching these skills a lot. So just remember, you're down, hands are still off the plastic. We still do the tape thing. Right, just got to keep it fair. And face off is the same. So that's really it. I can talk a little bit about how we line up on this really quick. So the way I line up, you have your ball's on the line. I kind of a little bit back. I have my foot, I have my toes pointed at my feet. Really, this just shows me this is where the ball is where my body's going, right? From there, I actually bring my stick down. My left foot's just kind of existing. I put my stick down, right? I lined up with the ball. Then I bring my left foot how I want it. Sometimes I angle myself really towards the ball, so my feet are facing the same direction. Sometimes I turn a little bit more. Sorry, we'll see. Like sometimes I'm like this, toe pointed at the ball, right? Other toe is like that too, right? Arm on the inside. I'm good to go. Everything's in where it should be. Foot's not across the head. My helmet's not across the head. I'm ready to go. I'll bring my foot in like that. Other times I bring my foot a little bit more. Sometimes this is more defensive. This is really good if I'm trying to stand back up faster. I have something to anchor myself on to then move, right? So, right, it all depends. But regardless, right, your right side is always going to be almost the same every time. You can point a little bit away from the ball, but you do lose just that motion, that pushing motion into the face-off. And no matter what move, it's going to be good for you. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. Again, big things to remember with face-offs. Really, it all comes down to how you line up and that you're following the rules during that part of the face-off, right? So, again, like you see, I have the green tape. Comes right up to the bottom of the throat of the stick. I can't touch the plastic. No one's allowed to touch the plastic. It does happen. Refs should do their jobs to get on it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If someone is up a little bit on the plastic, it's something you're going to have to fight. If the ref's not calling it, it's something you're going to have to fight. That's just the fact. But, right, if you're being honorable, right, you'll be good. Right, so you're coming up to that. You don't put anything on the right side of your hand, essentially. So nothing is even with the stick, right? We can't get our elbows in there. We can't get our feet behind the head. We can't put our helmet over the head and the ball. Just can't do that. From there, hand placement, anywhere up in here is good. Closer is really fast. Up here does give you more leverage. But again, some of these things are really advanced, and I would really say check out Greg Aurelian and the Face Off Academy. They're going to have a lot more resources to that. I've used a lot of their stuff to get better myself. This is more just kind of, here's what a face-off is, and kind of the basics of getting into a face-off. So I'm not too worried about trying to teach those things. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And if you're worried about like what equipment you should use, if you're fully committed to doing it, I would recommend getting a face-off specific head. This is like, right, I've done a video on this. This is the Burn FO recovery. I will link that one. I've been using this head now for a while, and it's really, all of them are the same. They're gonna have shorter throats. They're gonna be a little more flexible in certain places. Some are gonna be different, right? The Burn FO and the Weapon X are similar. The Dual is different. The CEO is different, right? They're all a little bit different. They're all going to offer their own unique things. There are plenty of other reviews on the other heads also online. So be sure to like just look them up and kind of check out. And I would say definitely if you can go to the store and check them out, or if you have a teammate, try out theirs. especially if you're not wanting to risk bending your own head. I've done that before, where I bent a MIDI head that I loved, and it screwed it up forever, and that was sad. But that's if you're really, really sure you're going into the position. Otherwise, I would say try out a teammate's stick if they will let you. Sometimes they don't. But really kind of make sure that like it's what you're doing, right? If you don't, if you're like, I might do it every once in a while, I wouldn't get your own stuff. You see poles especially face off with just their deep pull heads all the time. With SNG, the nice thing is you don't have to be clamping all the time. There are other moves that don't actually bend them as much. So if you have a stiffer, sturdier head, that actually will work. But if you're looking right to get the mean clamps, right, stuff like this, yeah, you're gonna want a very specific head. So that's the face-off. There are little bits and pieces you have to put together, like I just did. You cannot carry the ball in the back of your stick after the face-off, after you pull it out. It has to come out. If you don't get it out, it will turn into a possession. If it continues to happen, they will do a stick check, and you will get in trouble. They shouldn't stick check face-offs, but that's a different thing. So, yeah, I hope this helped. I just really felt like doing it because face-offs are awesome, and someone out there might need help learning how to do them. And the hard thing is, a lot of it comes down to experimenting and doing. I can tell you all day how to do them. Face-off, at the end of the day, you have to try them for yourself and kind of experiment with it. That's part of the fun of it. It's a really, really unique position that I hope does not get chased out. It's just too cool. It's too unique. So yeah, that's that. Appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, I will link down some of the other things I talked about, the resources I talked about, as well as the videos I mentioned. And hopefully, if this is what you're going to do, I hope you go on, and I hope you do it well, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope that's like the important thing. If you're playing it and you're not having fun, it's not worth it. It really isn't. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, be safe, be happy, be healthy, and take care.